50 Easter eggs in Fortnite Simpsons season. Scattered around the map, you could find a rake on the ground, but run over it. This is all an Easter egg for one of The Simpsons' most classic jokes. Over in Comic Book Guy's store at the town square, you can walk to the back and discover a list of people banned for life. This includes Sideshow Bob, Nelson, along with Bart and Milhouse from that one episode, but you might be wondering who this is. It's actually Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons. When you drive over to this tiny desert biome, you'll spot a sign mentioning how this is Springfield Gorge, and you can look to the other side to see a giant ramp. All of this is an insane Easter egg to when Homer tried to do this. But what happens next is even better. And that's why you could find this Crash reboot van at the Gorge. It is exactly what you think it is. At Donut District, Fortnite has added one of the most famous mascots from The Simpsons, and it's the Lard Lad Donut sign. While it's already a cool reference, wait until you see what happens when you shoot it down. Just like Homer does in the show, you can steal the giant donut and it has physics. If you're lucky enough to get it rolling, you could even ride on it. Did you know if you head to Mr. Burns' office in either his manor or the power plant, you could find a button on his desk? It ain't just for decoration. By pressing it, you can officially
release the hounds.
Yes, these are Dobermen who will now guard you, and on their back is the words Hound Security. One of the most underrated places on the map is Springfield Slurp Works. Any Simpsons fan will know this is literally just Duff Brewery. But my favorite reference in this place is when you spot these tanks for Slurp, Slurp Diet, and Slurp Zero, all connected to the exact same pipe. Obviously, it's a nod to Duff doing the same thing in the show.
And here we have Duff, Duff Light, and our newest flavor, Duff Dry.
In the other building, you'll also see this animal mascot display showing a llama called Bubbles Von Slurp, a kangaroo called Slurparoo, and then this dog called Suds McSlurp. That's another reference to when Santa's little helper actually becomes a mascot named Suds McDuff. East of the town square, you can find this seemingly innocent house until you walk inside and notice steamed hams on a table. You could also find these in Flanders' home and other areas, but this table looks just like the one from the original scene at Principal Skinner's house. We'll walk into the kitchen and you'll realize his oven is on fire, proving this is exactly what happened. Now, it's pretty obvious that Camp Crusty is taken from the show, but what people didn't expect is for such a huge POI like this to be based on a single episode. And you can find all kinds of places here taken directly from it, like the TV presentation the kids get from Mr. Black.
I'll take any questions you might have. You, and then one more.
This is where it gets even cooler. By the end of the episode, the kids actually take over the place and rename it to Camp Bart. Well, if you capture Camp Crusty in game, you can watch the flag actually change just like it does in the show. By now, most players have realized that this season's trailer is a one-to-one recreation of the Simpsons intro. But for just a couple of frames, you can see a ton of random characters, including Midas getting chased by a shark. If you know, you know. That's when they saw the Mechverse monster in the back, which is Fortnite's version of God vs. Satan originally in the intro. And not enough people are talking about the dead Simpsons character on the map right now. Over in Moe's Tavern, you can find the Love Tester machine, which is already an iconic reference to one of his prized possessions. But if you look on top of it, you can spot the ashes of someone named Larry. Did you know this is a background character who's been in The Simpsons for over 35 years and was finally killed off in 2024? And so yeah, it's Fortnite's way of paying respects to a legend. And of course, if you answer the phone on the bar, you'll hear
Mo speaking. Is Seymour there? Last name, Butts. Hey, is there a Butts here? Seymour Butts? Hey, everybody, I want to see more Butts!
Which is of course based on the classic prank calls that Bart always does to Moe. Something I was not expecting to see was when I walked into Comic Book Guy's shop and spotted Krusty the Clown frozen in carbonite. He's in the exact same pose that Han Solo is from The Empire Strikes Back, and considering this was only in a single episode of The Simpsons, it's a hilarious Easter egg Fortnite added by surprise. A super niche reference is in Marge's set because her back bling is a bowling ball on a birthday cake. I know, it seems super random, but it's actually taken from one of the very first episodes of the show when Homer decides to give her the worst birthday present of all time. You might also recognize why you could chop off Jebediah's head, because Bart Simpson did the same thing in Season 1.
What have I done?
One of the most striking features of the new map has to be the giant hill with the Springfield sign. What you might not know is the way to get inside of it thanks to Carlsbad Caverns. Yes, they turned a super niche joke from the show into an entire POI with tons of chests inside. And this will let you travel between Camp Crusty and Springfield Gorge without climbing a whole mountain. While you're exploring the map though, look out for Buzz Cola vending machines. These drinks exist in the show, but they're mostly known for being featured in Simpsons Hit and Run, one of the most famous video games of all time. So of course, Fortnite wanted to put Buzz Cola everywhere knowing this. But what most fans haven't noticed is the chip brand in the Quickie Mart. It is called Sugar and Honey Potato Chips, and you won't find this anywhere in the show, even though it has a Simpsons-style logo and everything. Well, it turns out Fortnite themselves created this as a reference to a moment in Season 5.
Sugar do 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 do. Honey honey do 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 do.
That's not the only way Epic are impressing us with original secrets, because in the Battle Pass, you can earn a loading screen that's a Simpsons remake of one of the first OG artworks, and honestly, it looks insane. Speaking of artwork, head to the Aztec Theater and you'll find a ridiculous amount of fake movies. First, we have old Fortnite films with Simpsons characters, to the Hounds of Hades turning into Mr. Burns' hounds. But my personal favorite is the Vindicators Crystal War series from the show. I mean, one look at this and you can tell it's a parody of the Avengers. Another hidden Easter egg is included in Homer's car. One of his wheel sets is this, the Stonecutter white walls, and the description says, "Who puts the style on every wheel?"
We do.
A detail I just had to appreciate is the Simpsons family kitchen, because on the refrigerator, you can spot a calendar and it's dated December 17th, 1989. Yes, that's the very same day The Simpsons released its first episode. And that's not the only way Fortnite have shown their love for the show. Over on the Battle Bus, the message changes every single match. So what are they based on? This is the closest we could get to a chalkboard gag, which references what Bart writes in the intro of every episode, or worst bus path ever, in the tone of,
"You are about to see the worst half hour of television ever."
Something we weren't expecting to find on the map was the 33-cent store, which has been added as an actual POI you could walk into. And if you think adding a quick joke as a POI wasn't enough for Epic Games, they also decorated it with Cool Ranch Soda, something you spot in the episode for like a second. The Simpsons is full of tiny scenes that go viral, like when Homer imagines this.
I am evil Homer. I am evil Homer.
Well, it's become so iconic that Fortnite turned Evil Homer into an emote and a bonus reward edit style. Not to mention, he's also a boss on the map. And you can even catch more of the show's iconic running jokes. It's not just the couch gag. Each episode also has its own title screen, chalkboard, and even the billboard that you fly past. Well, now those are in Fortnite too, because around the map you can spot advertisements like Moe's Bar, now with electricity, and McBain Capital. And that's not the only appearance of the action movie hero. Over at the Aztec Theater, you can find him taking on the main role in Fortnite's Odyssey 6, replacing Jonesy. And that's not the only recasting, because our secret skin of the season is actually a mashup. Springfield or Peely is basically Fortnite's own take on Graggle, a character that everyone seems to forget was in the show. Obviously kidding, it's a viral meme that everyone plays along with, but if you still find him too plain, then just wait for his hidden second style. Later in the season, the rest of his rewards will become available, including a variant to mash him up with Professor Frink from the show. And if you log into the season within the first week, you'll immediately be given the Fuel Rod and Tongs pickaxe. Anyone familiar with the show will know what scene this is from, but the description is what makes it even better. You'll never lose a fuel rod down your shirt again, a reference to how Homer seems to do exactly that every time. Perhaps my favorite reference this season is right on page 6 of the pass. Flanders' second style is of course his ski suit from an iconic scene in season 11, and he's even got his own emote where he flexes his cheeks just like it. Even the outfit style isn't just called ski suit or something, it is actually Stupid Sexy Flanders.
Stupid sexy Flanders.
There's also some deeper references around the island, because inside Moe's Bar, you can find a photo of when Homer was a part of the barbershop quartet group, the B-Sharps. They appear in a handful of episodes, most notably when they performed on top of Moe's roof.
The trip to paradise.
Almost every item in these places has detail put into it, just like this magazine in the Quickie Mart. March's issue of Cats features none other than the crazy cat lady on the front cover. And if you haven't defeated a boss in the season, just know you're in for a surprise if you succeed. It turns out for once, Nelson the Bully is on your side, because as soon as you knock him out, he'll appear just to mock him. As you're exploring the island and fighting these bosses, you'll notice these iconic sounds playing whenever you discover a new POI. Well, these are unique for every single location and are all taken from the actual scene transitions because just like the show, you're switching locations. If you stuck around after the event, not only do we get to see the cinematic video and trailer, but also the first official Fortnite Simpsons crossover episode. They're releasing these shorts each week of the season, and the first one has a very familiar face. Yeah, they turned Snowball into Kaio from the Chapter 1 Season 9 Battle Pass all the way back in 2019. Even he noticed it.
Ooh, Easter egg!
Over at the town square, you can head inside the android's dungeon to find a bunch of comic books with some more characters straight from the series. You can spot a ton of Radioactive Man issues and even one from Fallout Boy, which is his sidekick. If you really want to show you're a true fan, you can equip the Radioactive Man decal on Homer's car to truly look the part. He even has a fourth style for the Springfield Isotopes from when he joined a bandwagon to celebrate their game.
Now we're in the championship game.
Championship?
Topes rule!
Another niche reference is actually in Blinky Fish Stick's set. It's all themed around radioactive waste, including the pickaxe, but this actually has a double meaning. The fugu fish is from an episode where Homer eats at a sushi restaurant and panics that he only has 24 hours left to live.
Try something new, Homer. What'll it hurt you, Homer? I never heard of a poisoned pork chop.
He's far more at risk in his workplace though. After all, the nuclear power plant is run by Mr. Burns. So around the factory, you can find posters and signs telling workers, don't read this, work. And if you see something, say nothing. Radio waves aren't the only dangerous thing here though, because the eye washing station you can find is taken directly from a scene where Homer throws pudding at Lenny and Carl.
Ow, my eye! I'm not supposed to get pudding in it. No.
Back at the android's dungeon, another great reference you could find is this movie. Fish Stick has starred in his own version of V for Vendetta, which is an iconic film from real life. And if you're ever in need of some merch for all these references, look no further than the clothing store near Camp Crusty. Inside, you can find shirts featuring Itchy and Scratchy, Duffman, and Crusty himself. There's even one of Poochie, a character that Homer voiced for the Itchy and Scratchy show before being killed off after just one episode. Now, if you've already got a win this season, you'll know exactly what the umbrella looks like, but if not, it's the Safety Inspector Brella. Pretty on the nose, but if you don't recognize it, Homer's workspace has been ripped out and turned into a glider, swivel office chair included. No matter where you land with it, you have a chance to come across a cutout of Duffman. Obviously in Fortnite, Duff is now Slurpco, so he's technically Slurpman, and while he isn't a skin right now, these cutouts mean we could always see him someday, especially when he has an entire Slurp-themed house on the map with merch and more cutouts inside. Another entirely themed building we need is for Ned. Sure, we have his house, but the one thing we're missing is his Leftorium. The inside joke is that Flanders is entirely left-handed, and his whole business is dedicated to making things for people the same as him. And while Storm may be missing, he isn't unequipped on the island because his back bling is an emergency case of left-handed items. And if you check the poster boards around Springfield Slurp Works, you'll find one note that has written the same line over and over again. I will not waste ink. Obviously, they're not doing great at that, but since the map doesn't have the school, this is Epic's perfect way to reference Bart's chalkboard gag at the start of every episode. Right above it, you'll also spot 0 days without Slurp, which is another intro Easter egg to the 0 days without an accident sign at the power plant. And if this is the first time you've ever seen Witch Marge, you might be wondering where exactly this style has come from. As you'd expect, it's from a Halloween special, but this Treehouse of Horror episode doesn't just have her dressed up, it turns out she actually was a witch. And it wouldn't be Springfield Island without the tire fire. This place is a running joke throughout the show and just too iconic to be missed, so fans were not disappointed to see it's in game. It even gives you a free glider redeploy zone for mobility. And there's no faster way to travel than the battle bus, especially with Otto now behind the wheel. That's right, even though we're not technically flying in on the school bus, he is still driving it, and you can confirm it by simply thanking him. Thank you to everyone who used code T5G to buy the battle pass. It has been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.